My name is Courtney Donaldson, and I am born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, with waves of St. Augustine, Florida. I wanted to be an artist as a way of escape from the world. I was definitely bullied in school, so of course you want to have like a little outlet to, express yourself, and that's basically like the premise of how I ended up being an artist. I remember I wanted to draw shoes and stuff. So I know I was being bullied for the most ridiculous things. And so as that was happening, I would always be in class, I was drawing shoes, I was drawing cartoon characters, and it was just a way to escape. So I was like, I think I want to be an artist. My first art piece was a Hunger Baby piece in high school. My art class, we had to get a persona of a child. We had to give him a profession, what he liked to do, and we had to actually draw this person and bring them to life. We had to go by each classroom and show them the person that we're trying to raise money for, and then at the end they had to die, because we had to raise awareness, if we don't raise money for food, we can't help these kids. So my first art piece was a big piece of artwork of a little boy. His name was Adonis. Well, my creative process, what I do is I go by how I'm feeling for the day. If I'm feeling happy, I know my artwork's gonna be a little bit excited. Mostly my topics of art is 90s. I love 90s artwork, vintage, bright colors. So yeah, that's it. I like to be different. When I notice that someone's probably doing the same thing that I am doing, I try to tweak it just a little bit. I like to have some sort of originality. So when I started, I used to like artwork with glitter, and it was always glitter in 3D. And then I stepped away from glitter and I just did the 3D artwork, and that's when I started getting into the pop culture. I remember when I did my first 3D piece, it was of Mac Miller, and it was colored pencil and glitter. And then I noticed everybody might not like glitter. I try to change my artwork every so often. I don't really have an art style either. My inspiration for my project mostly stems from mental health, peace, and a way to express myself. My greatest art piece happens to be my Boys in the Hood 3D piece. It took me, I want to say, almost a month, not fully a month, to finish. I almost gave up on it 3 times, so it kind of motivated me hey, you need to push through and finish your artwork. I do have a habit of starting art pieces and not finishing them. I might move on to something else because I get bored easily, but I felt this is going to be my best piece that everyone's going to talk about. So it has to be my Boys in the Hood piece. I like Hebrew Brantley. He's based out of Chicago, and I like Sue Sai as well. But my art style mostly resembles Hebrew Brantley. I remember I came up with a cartoon character that I wanted to do for my coloring book. It was a picture of me, and it was something she was supposed to be a superhero. She had pigtails, she had gowns like I used to have, and she used to have the goggles. So something told me to do a little bit more research. Did research. I came across somebody named Hebrew Brantley. We had the same exact concepts. So I was like, oh no. So of course that's one of those things where I felt I needed to change my style, but I wasn't going to change my style because I came up with that before I knew about him. But I noticed how similar we were, and so it kind of motivated me oh, okay, I do have a favorite artist, and I don't really have to always change just because I see somebody doing something that I do. I just use it more so as a motivator. But with Susai, I love her pop culture pieces. I love the color. Oh, and I want to mention my uncle. My uncle's an artist too. Well, he used to do art. He was my first time, my art style, when it comes to colors, it's pretty bright. I do take criticism, but I don't listen to it. I don't listen to it heavily, because when you start to listen to criticism, it starts to manipulate how you want to convey your artwork. I do artwork for me. It just happens to affect other people. They like it. So yeah, they could give me input on like, oh, you should have did it this way or this way, but necessarily I'm doing this artwork for me and my mental health. I'm doing this to show like what I'm going through, and if people want to be on the ride and understand what I'm trying to convey, they just on the train with me. I take criticism. I listen. And sometimes I might make an art piece where, you know, it pertains to them. It's something that they like, because when you're making artwork, of course you want people to like, maybe you want someone to buy it or something. But I necessarily don't really care too much about that. If it, like I said, if it gets to them, it just does. But criticism, I listen to it though.
Now, I understand that you won a contest for the TV show Grownish. Now, explain to me about that, how that came about.
Okay, we were on our way to Florida, and I was on Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. Just kidding, no. I was on Instagram, and I remember seeing an ad that they were looking for artwork for, I think it was 5 or 6 artists to be showcased to promote the new season. So I was like, oh man, but I only had like 3 or 4 days to come up with something. They said that we can enter in up to 10 pieces, but I only entered in 2. And my second idea is what made it through. I don't know how I won compared to a lot of people, but that's what, you know, knowing branding, it helps you. I understood like it's kind of clean and it's kind of fun. It's slightly edgy for like, you know, teenagers up to like maybe 25, 26, 27. So I tried to keep it simple, and all it was silhouettes of the characters with the main character in yellow. And I had like a what is it called? It's like one of the little pins that they use for fashion, and I put that over Zoe's head. But all I know, I got a email saying that I was in the little top contenders, and you know, about to get my money, you know. Just kidding. But yeah, I just saw it on Instagram, and I'm glad I took the opportunity. That was probably like one of the highlights of my little art career. I don't think they reacted. It's just something that I just eased into. I remember when I was little, my uncle has artwork in our house. But I necessarily didn't know it was his. I never really checked like a little signature in the corner. But I remember I used to always sit up in my room and I would draw. But one day I went out in the front room with my dad and my mom, and I was drawing what I saw on the wall, not knowing that that was my uncle's artwork the whole entire time. I'm like, what, 8, 9, 10 years old. So I was drawing, and then I showed my dad what I did. He was like, oh, you're gonna be like your uncle one day. And for some reason that made me feel good. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be like my uncle one day. And it just stuck in my head, noticing that he's an artist. He does like graphics as well. So I guess they were on board with it. But sometimes I not like have crazy ideas when it comes to my artwork, and when I pitch it to them, it might not sound like the best idea, but to me, it's the best idea. I like I said, criticism, you take it and you're gonna apply it or you're not. So yeah, I guess they were on board with it. They actually have to see the product.
Now, tell me about 6 yesterdays ago.
Okay.
And what's the meaning of it?
Oh, of course. Okay, so 6 yesterdays ago is my brand. It's about living in the moment, not holding off your dreams, visions, and goals for another day. I have this theory that tomorrow never really comes. We only live for today. And I noticed that we're all on this little petri dish planet, and we're all experiencing the same things, but we're experiencing them in different ways that other people will never get to understand. So I feel like you should live out, you know, your truth. So that's basically what 6 yesterdays ago is.
Now, any upcoming projects you're working on?
So when it comes to upcoming projects, I never really speak on them. And this is why I don't speak on them. When you speak too early, they might not happen. When you speak too early, people want to tear you down from what you want to do. When you speak too early, people take your ideas. So I don't really talk about my projects that I have in mind, but sometimes I do, like, you know, I might hint at it, but I never really try to go into full detail of what I'm doing. But I do have something in the works. If I could give any advice to future artists, is to do the art that you want to do. Don't let too many people get in your head and tell you what you should be doing. If you want to do something, just do it. Don't look for praise. Don't look for attention. Just do it because it makes you feel good. Okay, so this is my poetic justice piece. It took about, I want to say 2 weeks. I really like pop culture, as you can tell. You know, I got the Angela Bassett. Excuse that price tag, it's not that. I got my Angela Bassett. I like things that I can repurpose. This is actually like melted water bottles. You know, trying to be resourceful. When it comes to my work, I do like working by myself. Because when you work by yourself, you know things will probably go a little bit as planned. But I don't mind working with other people. It might just be like a stigma from high school and middle school where I'm always doing projects by myself and group projects. So I just learned to do stuff by myself. But other than that, I do like working independently. So this one is a shout out to, you know, Columbia. It says colon sign language. I like work that's a little bit inclusive. So you can tell exactly who it's for. It's in sign language, so someone who's hearing impaired. And of course I have my Outcast piece right here. This is the one I'm working on currently. I thought I was gonna finish it before the new year, but I did not. I actually made it for another art show that I wanted to participate in it, but I'm on the fence on whether I'm gonna do it or not. But yeah, you know, it's my style. Out here. We out here. Oh, can't forget Good Burger. Yeah. I didn't get to see Good Burger too, but it's good, you know. But I'm really into pop culture type of stuff. Normally I try to do something that's original. It's one back there. Oh, dang. We forgot about this one. Boys in the Hood. This one almost took me a month. This is the one that I almost gave up on 2 or 3 times. But I'm glad that I got through it. It actually lights up. Hopefully the battery's in it. Let's see. Yeah. A little interactive. Everybody likes it, you know. I do too. It turned out pretty nice. It's probably my favorite. Yeah, I think it's my favorite one. Normally I don't have favorites, but I think this is it. That's one of my favorites too. You know, it's so original. It's supposed to be a girl coming from the past to warn you about the future. So I had her coming out of a grid, you know, with a camera, because you know, like when you take pictures, it's something of a memory. So she's supposed to be taking a picture and it's supposed to be melting into dirt. But I mean, the dirt's not there, of course, but it's nice. That's an original work.